With so many outstanding receivers now, including Isaiah Alston, how do you kind of keep everybody happy? I mean, more passes? Or
Yeah,
games?
well, the big thing for us has always been, ego and entitlement here, and those guys don't have it, and the receivers that we've had that have been successful didn't have it. Lazard didn't have it. Hakeem didn't have it. Hutchinson didn't have it. So finding ways to get those guys the ball, our thing in game plan's always been players, formations, plays, and those guys are going to help us win a lot of football games. I think we can push the ball down the field a little bit more for those guys too and go with a little bit more tempo. So I think that will provide more opportunity for those guys in the pass game. But they're not selfish kids. They want to win football games, and that's what it's about for them. It's not about getting theirs, and that will come, with the success we have on offense.
Coach, I remember a couple of years ago, Coach Campbell talked about on both sides of the ball, ideas are welcome for everything, whether it be GAs, whether it be assistants, whether it be coordinators.
Yeah.
Were you one of those guys that were bringing a lot of ideas on the offensive side of the ball, and is that one of the reasons maybe you took over the job after Nate left?
Well, I've been with Coach Campbell for a long time. I've been together for 11 years, so just soaking up the good offenses we've had and the bad ones that we've had and being able to learn. And as you grow and progress through the offense, just being able to suggest and maybe tweak things, as they might be. But I never certainly tried to overstep any boundaries that I've had with any of the coordinators or people that we've had here. I've just tried to, keep my head down and work. And when I saw an opportunity somewhere in the game plan to suggest something, I tried to take it and slowly but surely earn trust and have those conversations, in the game plan process where you can be open and creative. And the coaches that we've always had here have been really good about listening to people and finding the best way to do it, whether that's me or the GA or whoever that might be, just being able to help us provide value to win football games. And I've always just tried to, whatever the opportunity got asked of me to do it, whether I was stocking or, stuffing envelopes or whatever, just try to do it the best of my ability.
Isaiah Alston's kind of that next in that line of transfer receivers that you guys have gone out to get. Why have you kind of gone that route to get players like that?
Mm-hmm.
And what's unique about him in that he can come in and help you right away?
Yeah, I don't think we necessarily went out this offseason with the mindset of we need to go get a receiver. And we came across Isaiah and saw what he was able to do in the pass game there at Army with, that's not, the pass game at Army is not what you think about necessarily, but he was able to make some incredible plays down the field, and that was an emphasis for us this offseason was we wanted to push the ball down the field a little bit more, or down the field a little bit more, and felt like he could give us that. And he fits our locker room more than anything. The transfers that we bring in here, we don't try to live in the portal, but the people that we bring in here fit our locker room first, and that's where it starts with us.
Is he cleared? Is he ready to go now?
Yeah, he's good to go. He's still working through a couple of things with whatever, from the Army. So when we get him out there, we'll be excited to get him the football. But, yeah, he's good to go.
Coach, obviously you're moving into a play calling role, something you haven't done before, but you've got a staff full of people who have. What's the value of that for you as you experience something for the first time?
Oh, it's huge. All those guys have called plays before in games, and when I was told I was the coordinator, they're the first persons that I talked to about it, and I want to be able to lean into them for whatever their ideas are, kind of like I was talking about earlier. I'll listen to whatever's going to help us score points and win football games. If one of our guys sees something cool on Twitter and sends it to me, if it fits what we're doing, I'll run it. So those guys have called. Tyler Rolls won national championships calling plays. That guy's such a stud and a great person. So to be able to have him in the box next to me, helping me, whatever his ideas are or ways he can direct me, I'll listen to him. Noah Pauly's won national championships. Ryan Clanton's, obviously, he's played in national championships and called huge games. So those guys are all really good about, they don't have egos. I'd like to think that I don't. So we could all put our heads together, come up with the best game plan, and whatever the situation is or where we find ourselves in the game, being able to lean on each other. And Coach Campbell, being part of that too, he's been a part of great offenses and called great games, will help me a lot.
You've obviously been with the program a while, so I imagine you have a relationship with Rocco Becht, but not directly coaching him. What is the importance of spring and you guys being able to develop a rapport, because you obviously had a strong one with Nate?
Yeah, I think Rocco, he's got some tight end blood in him too, so him and I are a lot closer than people think. With his dad was being a tight end and being a football coach, that guy lives up here. He lives in the indoor. He lives in the quarterback room. So he's here all the time. He's a guy that I have a great relationship with and talk to a lot about, what do you think about this? And, would you mind changing this and things like that? But I think for us to come out of spring with a identity and for him to come out of spring feeling really confident in who we are and what our offense is going to look like in the ways that we can grow and feel like we can have a big summer.
You mentioned seeing good offense here, seeing bad offense here. Now as the offensive coordinator, when you think back on those, what differentiates those in the process to getting on the field, and I guess how does that inform your thinking of getting ready to put an offense out there in August or September?
Yeah, I think for us is figuring out who our guys are. Like I told you before, with us game plan, it's always been players, formations, plays, and I think sometimes when our offense has struggled, we've probably tried to force things, or even we were slow this last year. I think we probably thought we were going to be something, and we learned through the season for how we were going to score and win games and rush the football. So like I talked about the spring ball piece, coming out of an identity in spring, fall camp, that we know how to move the football. We know what our answers are when we have problems, and obviously taking care of the football. When our offense hasn't been good 2022, you look statistically, we turn the ball over a lot of times. So when we've been at our best here, that 2017 season, we didn't have one fumble until the Liberty Bowl. So making an emphasis on doing the detailed things right, not turning the football over, taking care of each other. You're always going to have to win the inch here and be very detailed and be very sound. So that's where it has to be for us all the time, every day, and everything that we do. But being able to take those things from all those offenses, the good and the bad, and being able to learn from them, I think is huge for all of us.
With a future NFL tight end, how do you, now becoming a sophomore, how do you integrate him more into the offense?
Yeah, I think the more that we threw at him, the better that he got. And we really haven't had a tight end that has played like that as a freshman. And we asked that guy to do so much in our offense. And I think with where he's at physically now, he came in to camp last year. He got here in June. I think he was 218. And we got him to 230, low 230s for the season. And we're able to hang on to that weight. Now he's 245, hoping we get to 250. So I think just being able to be there physically and be able to push the mental piece of it and throw a lot at him, he's done a good job. And we have great, competition and great people in there. We can still be have those multi-tight end sets and be a multi-personnel team. But he's all about the guys. He's all about the team. He wants to win football games. He won state championships at Pierce. His dad's an incredible football coach. So the expectations are high for him and for us and for everybody. So he'll only get better, as the competition and as our offense grows.
Nate's assumption of the offensive coordinator role was kind of a focal point of last season. Were there any lessons that you learned watching that or participating in that you're kind of applying to this upcoming season?
Absolutely. I've learned a lot in the, whatever it was, 6 years that Nate and I got to work together. He's an incredible mentor and friend to me. I got to help him coach the receivers a couple of years ago and work through some of that together. So to come out of the 2022 season and put our heads together for what we wanted the offense to be and for him to really bring it to fruition and give our offense an identity and bring a culture to our offense this last year was incredibly huge for me to see. It makes it going into the meetings and stuff a lot easier when I've got to watch him do it and be able to bring a pulse to that offense, and the clarity and how calm he is on game days and his ability to just master the situational piece, and he's never too high with the highs or low with the lows. Just for his ability to go up in the box last year and have the success that he had, the poise, I took away a lot of just how poised he was, just the pulse he was able to have within the locker room with those guys. He had such good feel for Rocco and, the direction that we were going. He was able to stay a step ahead a lot of times, and the preparation that he had each week, he was the first one here, the last one to leave, just what it took to be a successful coordinator, he did a great job of. So in the 6 years we've been together, I can be more grateful and learned a lot from that guy.
Coach, you've been in your new role now for a little bit. What's the excitement level for you as it keeps building through the spring and into the fall when you see the potential of this offense that you essentially get to run with all these young guys that have a lot of potential?
To say that I'm excited doesn't even scratch the surface of what it means to me to be the offensive coordinator here and be with Coach Campbell going into our 11th season together at Iowa State for 9 years. I love everything about this place. My wife went to school here. She was a Cyclone Kids Club member, and her dad was the librarian here. So I love Iowa State. I love the kids here. I got to come here. I remember our last staff meeting at Toledo. Coach Campbell said he wanted to go something and do something that's never been done before. And I think about that every day that I get to come here. So I want to score points. I want to win football games. I love Coach Haycock. I love our staff. To be here for as long as I have, it means a lot to me to call plays and to help guide the guys and guide the program offensively. So I can't wait to be able to go to practice this week and see what kind of damage that we can do. But to say that I'm excited is an understatement. It means the world to me to be able to do this, to talk in front of you guys, to talk in front of the offense. Like, I'm excited to get going, and it's going to be fun.
You haven't been able to probably see as many of these guys as the strength and conditioning staff has, but the January additions, what are the reports you're hearing from that, and who are some of the standouts?
Yeah, Coach Kagi and his staff has done such a great job. The nice thing is Coach Campbell's given us off the last couple Fridays, so I tried to go in there and watch those guys. It's a leg day for them, so they do the squats and leg press and get after it a lot, and they work really hard down there. I mean, I can't believe just what that guy's done in such a short amount of time, and he knows what the culture is and how we're going to win here, and he injects that into the weight room. The new guys, the January people, like your Cooper Alexanders and Dylan Lees, when you see them down there, they don't look like freshmen. They, credit to those high school coaches there at Washington and Williamsfield, but those guys came in and got after it from the start. All of our mid-years have done a good job. It's a little bit different than our guys that come in June. There's really not a huge acclimation process for them. Like, they come here, they get thrown right in the weight room, then it's winter workouts, which is, you guys have a good, idea of what, that's pretty cutthroat and pretty primal. So none of those guys have tapped out. None of those guys have, thought it was too hard. So I couldn't be more impressed with just the freshman guys that have come in here and have done a good job. Dylan Barrett, that guy, we got our, the body composition stuff today, and he's lost 8 pounds of fat and gained 6 pounds of muscle. Like, he's like a circus bear out there moving around. So I've been really impressed watching that guy. He's fun to watch, and like, circus bear. Yeah. No, yeah. But he's light on his feet. He can move around, and he's strong, just a big burly guy that eats snails for breakfast, but he can move around, and I'm excited about that guy. We talked about Isaiah, so it'll be fun to see when we get the pads on what those guys can do.